Yeah, the axe in the last episode got us killed because I was one-handing it and expecting to knock that Reaper off, but the axe, of course, hit the wall and the Reaper one-shot me. I lost my second chance to the Shadow Lurker guys, kind of rushing past them stupidly. But that's a tactic that I typically use, and it does work most of the time. But I was getting a little full of myself there. Let's put our sign down by Blige and see if we get something. And we'll buy more light arrows while we're down here, actually. Because we used up so many. Be sure not to get yourself killed. Yeah, that's just what I did. Man, that just feels so satisfying when you do an attack like that. I would think level 50 is pretty decent range for this level. We are still level 50, right? Yep. I think the next stats I'm gonna love. I'm just gonna probably just put it all into endurance when I level up again to 55. Yeah, give myself 5 more endurance. I'm gonna eventually take this build up to 120 and do some PvP with it. Or, well, we'll see. I'd like to do some 120 co-op PvP / Fight Club sort of stuff. We'll see. I'd like to stay pure white character tendency, and if I do PvP, just do it as a blue phantom and fight reds, because you can definitely do that. You just have to have somebody summon you. That is a really cool attack, the rolling R1 with a one-handed. It's like the same move as the Dragon Bone Smasher, where you do like a wave in front of you, and it knocks the enemy flying. Well, we're not getting summoned as quickly as we did in the last episode, so I think we're gonna give it another minute, and then we're gonna go back. I love that you hear the clang of the weapon. Like you can hear it, the reverberation of the metal when you do that. That's so cool. The Crescent Axe was it's outclassed by the Great Axe, but it makes up for that with its range. And it's not quite as heavy, but it still packs a good punch, so you didn't see it as often as you did the Great Axe, but you never want to underestimate it, because it's still a really good weapon. In Dark Souls, they changed it to be a faith weapon, and it upgraded with Twinkling Titanite, which is that game's version of the colorless Demon Souls. And you could not buff it or enchant it with anything, or use any sort of. You couldn't make it scale with Faith. You could, well, it already scaled with Faith, but you couldn't make it into a what was it called, Divine or Occult. But it was still a pretty good Faith weapon, and it had a similar. Wasn't quite as long as it is in this game, and my the downfall and the reason why I didn't ever end up using the Crescent Axe usually nearly as much in Dark Souls was they changed the moveset quite a bit, and the moveset was not as good as it was in this game. I think a lot of the things that were really powerful and borderline, or in some cases just totally broken, overpowered, they in some ways went a little too far in like nerfing, like the stamina regen, or the well, what's funny is the only way to get stamina regen in this game is that Eternal Warrior's ring, which is a good ring. Excuse me. They oh, here we go. But they totally nerfed the HP regen. You could get such powerful HP regen in this game, as I've displayed by now, I'm sure. There's only one shield that gives you 2 HP every 2 seconds. And I don't need these. And then there's a couple miracles, but each of them only gives you 10 HP per second. That he's trying to get another phantom. He's got the monk's head wrappings. Willie Suwon? Willie 3 SU1 Suwon? Not sure how you would say that. They basically nerfed the HP regen so much that it was not nearly as useful. And the Sanctus was, while it looks cool, and it had its uses in some cases to offset power within if you had low HP and an unupgraded Pyromancy Flame. Oh, he already killed the is he invaded? I guess we'll find out. But what's funny is they added a ton of stamina regen gear, and you can basically do the sort of same thing that you did with HP regen in Demon Souls with stamina regen, which it's not the same, obviously, but oh, we're going to put on the Mirrodin hammer for this part. We learned our lesson. Did he already kill all this stuff? Kinda sounds like he did. What's his tendency? Neutral? Wow, he went all the way back for me. I think that's funny when players like clear the level and they run all the way back for a phantom. I'll take it though. Wow, he already killed all these guys too. Well, this will be an easy... It should be, it seems like we're just gonna go right to the boss. Unless he wants to do the slug room. He didn't kill the slugs. But he's not stopping to kill them, so... Looks like it's going right to, Well, let me test my axe then. We can do some decent damage to the old hero with this axe. Alright, we get this cool cutscene. Ooh, wow, we staggering. Pretty good with that. Ooh. Ooh, he killed me. Missed him. Ooh, bad roll. Yeah, see, I didn't even have to use some grass there because my HP regen is just so strong. Ooh, bad roll. Man, this boss is so awesome. I love when you get to see him fight. He gets so aggressive. Ooh! No, don't kill him. Get him, dude. Got him. Wow, that was a close one. He almost killed that guy several times. Whew. Good work. Yeah, the old hero, in my opinion, is way more fun when you don't just wear the thief's ring and run away. I suppose I could do PvP in body form too by getting invaded after a boss dies. Yeah. Go die in the stonefang. I do really love that fight though. That's one of my favorites as well. I mean, Demon Souls bosses are just all so cool. I'm trying to think, is there a Demon Souls boss that I'm not that big of a fan of? I don't know, maybe the Leechmonger? Like, I don't mind the Leechmonger, though. The Leechmonger's a cool fight, too. How, like, the boss room is, like scaled, like, scaffolding that's, like, got different layers to it. The Adjudicator is a little bit like that. The old monk is not that interesting when you fight the NPC, but the fact that a player can be that boss makes that totally different. I like the Dirty Colossus so much more in this game. It's still a pretty simple and easy fight, but I love the way it feels. The Flame Lurker, the Dragon God. I mean, the Dragon God is what it is. A lot of people don't like that fight because it's like they call it a gimmick puzzle fight, but I guess of all the sort of quote-unquote gimmick fights, it maybe is one of the weakest, but I guess I have come to the point where it just feels so much part of the game. It wouldn't be the same without it. This game is so classic. It's what am I doing? It's earned its, like, the fact that they remade this game and they kept everything basically the same. How are we doing on item? Oh, we don't really have much. But we don't get poison all that much when I seem to get summoned more quickly out here, so I'm gonna put my sign out here. Or at least excuse me, at least I did the last couple times. Because I feel like players run out here and they're not sure where to go, maybe, or they just kind of stop. This is like a more open area. Yeah, we're doing alright on spice. What was I talking about? Bosses? Oh, the Dragon God, yeah. And how Demon Souls is just a classic game that, even though it's not the most, you know, thrilling. It builds up intensity because, you know, the dragon, you don't want him to see you, so you're sneaking by. I much prefer the Dragon God to the Beta Chaos fight or boss battle or whatever, you know, encounter. Because I guess those are more like encounters than they are fights. I think the Dragon God is more... Like, those are kind of fights that if you know how to execute them properly, you should have a really low percentage of error, or low percentage of fail rate, because regardless of... They don't change in New Game Plus other than that the boss will do more damage, and he, you know, in New Game, a lot of players go, that'll usually be the first Archdemon players encounter, so a lot of players don't have a lot of vitality, so he tends to one-shot most players anyways, so it doesn't really change from playthrough to playthrough all that much. It's just a matter of having a strong enough weapon to break the rubble fast enough, and then hide, and be able to run quickly, you know, and know when to run and when not to. Pay attention to his eyes, and the Thief's Ring does make that fight a lot easier. The Thief's Ring makes this game a lot easier in general, but they give it to you, so there's that. The Fool's Idol is a really cool fight. I think it's much better fight than the Pinwheel or the 3 Necromancer fight in Dark Souls. That fight is, I mean, it's a joke boss in that game, but I wouldn't say the Fool's Idol is a joke boss. I think it's got much more lore implication and more challenging and just more interesting and all around. Cooler boss arena, cooler design. But not trying to compare in any ways, and just look at Demon Souls for what it is. I think the Fool's Idol is a cool boss fight. The Man-Eaters is another boss fight that a lot of players hate because of how difficult that fight is and how broken it is. And I was watching Rurikon's playthrough, and when I talked about, and when I was fighting them, and I was talking about how that fight can be completely broken if you wear the Thief's Ring, he was wearing the Thief's Ring during that fight, and this, like, one of the attempts, one of the Man-Eaters just straight up flew away and wouldn't come back. And I remember saying that in one of my episodes, probably the one where I fought them. If you wear that Thief's Ring, there's a chance that the Man-Eaters can just fly away and never re-aggro you. And you just have to reset the fight, because you can't, I don't think you can reach them with arrows. And in the attempt that he actually killed the boss, the second one's AI just completely broke. Like, it wouldn't even want to fight him. It just kept walking away, and it would engage him every once in a while. But he was so hesitant to attack it because he wasn't sure what its AI would do, because it would just keep freezing up and standing there, and then maybe it would decide, or it would fly away, and it would fly away, and then, but it was like flying really slowly. it was honestly like just laughably ridiculous how broken it was. And he was like, that's something they could have fixed. And I tend to agree with that, but at the same time, it's like, if you're gonna keep this game, my argument is, if you're gonna keep Demon Souls like it is, if it's like, if you do one thing, then you would have people arguing, well, why didn't they change this, and why didn't they change this? And it's just like a domino effect. And if you're gonna change one boss but not the other, you know, so unfortunately, the Man-Eater's AI is still pretty broken, but luckily, if you don't wear that ring, they behave more or less. Their behavior allows for them to be where you can actually engage in them, and they will attack you normally. Because you need the boss to come down to attack you, unless you only range them. But yeah, and they seem to have fixed the glitch where you could shoot them through the boss fog. You could shoot the first one. I remember doing that my first time playing this game. I did all the exploits because I was just like, I just want to beat this game, you know. And I was following some guide that was telling me how to. I made a build that was basically, I said this in my my video where I talked about how I first got into Demon Souls, but I made a build where I just had like 99 magic, 99 faith, 99 int. Like, eventually I got there, and made a bow. I had a bunch of decks. I didn't ever level up my vitality or hardly any endurance, because I just was like a glass cannon ranged mage sort of thing. and would basically range cheese everything. But it got me through the game, and it was basically my entry into learning how to play and exploit this game. And despite not experiencing it maybe for the way in which other players might the first time, it was what allowed me to learn how to play the game. And then once I realized I could beat it like that, then I was like, okay, let's do this in just melee, because the game is very different when you melee it. When you melee everything, you don't use ranged attacks. And that's what's cool about a lot of the boss designs, is they're set up in a way that fighting them in range versus melee, you'll have a different experience, like the Tower Knight or the Armored Spider or Leechmonger. Even Flame Lurker, you can range him with magic. It's a lot of fun. And what makes this game and these Souls games in general have so much replay value is the amount of different ways you can play the game. And Demon Souls isn't that long of a game. It's pretty short, but which I suppose lends, that's what lends to its replayability. Like, playing through Dark Souls 2 or 3, Dark Souls 2 especially has so many bosses. If you want to do all the bosses and play through that game, it feels like a chore after a while because of how long it is. And you don't have to do all of that. You can go through it pretty quickly if you know what you're doing. But with playing through it in the way that I like to play Demon Souls, I guess I just get tired of those games more quickly. I think a lot of that has to do with the bosses and enemy designs feeling less inspired and interesting. And it's not the fault of the game itself, but I feel like those games, it's inevitable that the creators run out of ideas. So there are some spots that shine really well, and there are some bosses that are really cool, but there's parts where it just becomes a little bit trying. Like what's it called? Well, we're in the Valley of Defilement, which is, like I said, the best swamp and sort of, you know, poison wasteland area that they've ever done. And trying to redo that in every game just got tiring. Like, everybody just kind of was like, oh, there's gonna be a poison swamp, because they always put that in there. And it's like, after a while, the poison swamp in Dark Souls 3 is just one of my least favorite levels in all of the Souls games. I just don't like that level. I don't like the enemy designs there. The Gru are alright, I suppose, but I don't like those giant Gru, and I just, the color palette and the look of it, and it's large, and it just kind of feels uninteresting. And it doesn't have nearly the impact that this sort of level has. And it just feels like it comes across as very heavy-handed. Like, hey, remember when we did the Valley of Defilement swamp? Well, here's this, that, an ode to that in this game. A lot of Dark Souls 3 feels like that, in my opinion, where they're like, remember when we did this in Demon Souls, or remember when we did this in Bloodborne, or when we did this in Dark Souls, or in Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 3 kind of is like an amalgamation of all of the previous games that came before it, and that's not a knock on it itself, but you could tell that Miyazaki wanted to work on other games, and just due to the pressure from Bandai Namco wanting to milk the cash cow that Dark Souls had become, of course they wanted a third game in the series to make it a solid trilogy. So I don't know, they kind of came up with whatever they patched together this semblance of a story lore thing and basically retold the same story from the first game, but in a different way, and gave you different a sort of upgraded form of combat with these weapon art things, which were cool. The combat in Dark Souls 3 is fun, and it has a pretty devout PvP community and following, and I think that's where Dark Souls, unlike Demon Souls, has its replayability. Dark Souls, the first one, has more replayability in terms of the game itself than 2 or 3 do, in my opinion, because, well, 1, it's shorter, and 2, it feels more inspired. And again, this is not a knock on those other games, because they're all good games, and they're all worth playing, and I've played, you know, I've put over 1,000 hours into each game alone. Some of them thousands. I haven't even talked about Bloodborne, but I'm just talking about the Dark Souls games and the Souls games, because Bloodborne's sort of an outlier. People like to lump it in the same category, though. But, yeah. I'm kind of rambling here, waiting to get summoned and not getting summoned, so I think to make this less boring, hopefully I'll go back. I'm going to go to Boletaria and try to get my sign summoned in Boletaria. But yeah, I feel like Dark Souls has more replayability from the standpoint of... Oh, whoops. From enjoying playing through the game. I enjoy playing through Dark Souls more than I do Dark Souls 2 and 3. I do, but that's not to say I don't enjoy playing through Dark Souls 3, or 2. I like playing through those games, but if I'm talking about replayability, Dark Souls 2 and 3 for me had more replayability in the PvP, and honestly the first one did as well. Much more, all of them much more, or none of them had as much replayability as Demon Souls did for me, in terms of wanting to play through the game, fight the bosses, go to New Game Plus, whatever, keep going through and trying to come up. I've played through this game with more challenges set for myself than maybe any of the others that I can think of. I might be wrong about that. I don't know. It's been a while, but this is certainly the game that I have beaten the most, even though I've logged more hours in the other games. It's because of playing PvP for the most part and doing co-op with friends. I didn't start doing co-op with my friends in these games until several years after. Basically when the PS4 came out and several of my friends also had PS4s, and we all started co-oping Bloodborne together. And like I said, that's when we started doing party chat, and that really revolutionized the way that you did co-op in these games. I don't know about revolutionized, but changed anyways. Um, I remember going through the Chalice dungeons so many times with my friends, and it's funny, I was in the middle of a playthrough with a couple of my friends, one of my friends who's going through Bloodborne for the first time, and I had warned them that we probably are going to be in the middle of this playthrough when the PS5 comes out and Demon Souls comes out, and if I manage to get one, I'm more than likely going to want to be playing Demon Souls. And it's nothing against them, but it's just this. I've been wanting to play Demon Souls again online and just experience this. And I'm having so much fun with this. And it's not that I'm not going to go back to playing Bloodborne with them, because I do want to still finish the playthrough. But it's just a hard sell right now for me to want to go back to playing Bloodborne after playing a PS5 game and playing my favorite game of all time on the PS5. And that's not to say anything against Bloodborne or co-oping with my friends. Bloodborne is, after Demon Souls, my second favorite FromSoft game. But, I don't know how I started talking about all this. I guess Bloodborne has a good amount of replayability too. And I've played through that game quite a bit. It really was the game that, like I said, got me into playing co-op and doing online with my friends, like my personal friends that I know in real life is what I should specify. And we're suddenly not getting summoned anywhere, which is a shame. But oh, here we go, cool. I just remember, I remember playing through Demon Souls and just how many times I would play through the game just because I would love playing through it. And I made many characters and I would just try to get as far as I could. And I would do PvP and co-op too, of course. Co727 Bra. But when I got thumbs a many, when I got Dark Souls, I remember I got the Platinum Trophy, and then after that, I just basically would make builds and play through the game just enough to where I could start doing PvP. Like, that was my main objective when I played through Dark Souls, was doing PvP. I had several builds where that's all I did was invade and invade. I remember coming home from work. At night when I used to work at a restaurant or whatever. This was back when I was in college, or taking Dark Souls was a good reason why my grades suffered in college, and I ended up having to stop. I stopped going because I got this guy is just gunning for it. Let's mess up this night with this axe. Well, we stunned him with it. What's his tendency? Pure. No, wait. That's China Storms. He's in neutral. It feels so nice to just. If I only had more stamina. Ooh. Yeah, the range on this thing. He's blocking that attack. If I had the Master's Ring, this would be even stronger. 417 up close. Let's try to get an attack. Let's try to get an attack from range. So 417 up close, but if I get a yeah, that's the Crescent Axe right there. That's the guy who drops it. Well, that's those enemies drop them. 417. Yeah, that hyper armor, man. I just poised right through that enemy's spear thrust. I know I was saying something and I lost my train of thought completely because I suddenly was in the heat of battle. Dark Souls, man. It was a good part of why I dropped out of college for a while. Oh my god. I do a shove attack. Did that not hit me somehow? That was weird. It didn't do any damage. That's that. Just messed him up. I don't know what that was. I got penetrated, but it didn't do any damage. Good work, guys. That axe is fun. I just need more stamina to really wield it properly. I can only do 2 attacks. Yeah, and I would come home from work. What is my... Do I have pure black there yet? No. I would come home from work and log on to Dark Souls and invade. And just invade and invade for hours. Invade and fight other players. It wasn't until later... Actually, I met a lot of my friends through invading. And in Demon Souls, I would put my sign down more, I think, because at first, when I first started playing Demon Souls, I didn't quite understand how invasions worked. I didn't get invaded much because I remember the guide told me to play offline, because in the original Demon Souls, which I think they changed this, in the original Demon Souls, the online, there was a server average for the world tendencies, so you would have the world tendencies when you started off in the game, and they would be set to the server average, but if you played offline, they were neutral. Okay, now it's black, and it should go to pure black next. We're getting pretty short on time. We'll try to get summoned here, because this is a short level. In 5-1. But we don't want to use this axe here. Use the spear. Oh wow, right away. Sweet. Perfect. This should hopefully go pretty quick, and then we can end the episode. B Tate 22. I remember invading this girl over and over. I had a build that I made that was like level, like I just never leveled up. I was a thief, whatever level the thief was, like 5 or 6. I never leveled up, and I just beat the game, and then I didn't kill Gwyn, which I could have killed Gwyn. But I just left all the areas open so I could invade them. This guy's not even alive. He hasn't walked over here yet. I think it's funny how the bodies disappear when you use magic weapons in this game. Did he go over here? Where'd he go? Oh, he's up there. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. why I was in the gesture menu. You got a spear? I got a spear too. Now I'll show him how to drop down. He seems to be going through this for the first time, so I'll guide him. Yeah, I remember invading this girl with my level. I want to get this lizard before it disappears for him. And I was in, I think, what was the level with the four kings? The Enerlando Ruins or New Lando Ruins, and I remember invading her over and over and just constantly killing her. I didn't know it was a girl, obviously, but she eventually messaged me and was like, "Can you stop invading me and help me for once?" And I was like, "Wait," she didn't know me. She didn't. She was stuck on the Four Kings on New Game Plus, and I think it was New Game Plus. I don't remember, but anyways, she was like, instead of invading me, can you help me? And I was like, oh, yeah. I just always, I never really thought about it, but I never really did much co-op in Dark Souls up to that point. I mean, I did, but yeah, this guy gets up. it was kind of like an eye-opener for me to realize, like, oh, yeah, it's fun to help people. I'm getting pretty short on time. Hopefully we can go through this pretty quickly. We're almost done with this level. Come on, let's go, man. We're pretty much done. It's fun to help people. You don't just have to be a jerk and kill them. That probably gets more views and more subs. Ooh, don't die. Yay. We want a stronger cast here. Oh. Alright. How much time do we have? We're pretty short on time. If I have to, I might have to cut this. So, well, if this ends up being the end, I'm assuming we're going to beat this fight, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. It was kind of a lot of me talking and waiting around, but please give it a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Umbasa. Good work, guys.